she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. 7,000 miles to meet some girl? I think the medical here is...
What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Mike Tessitore, and I've been in the Philippines the last 40 years, but I'm actually from Montana.
40 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
What brought you to the Philippines originally?
Oh, that is a very long story.
Let us know. We want to hear it.
When I was 17 years old, I was in the 97th General Hospital in Frankfurt, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I had broken my elbow, and so I was in the hospital. I had 3 operations, and I was in the hospital for 5 months. And I had this Filipino nurse. Oh my God, she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. She was so nice. I was so in love with this girl, but I never touched her. I never even held her hand. Can you believe that?
She sounds trouble though.
Oh, but I was in love with her. I mean, seriously. Well, when I got out of the hospital, I never forgot that girl. So after I got out of the army, I got married several times and divorced. And every time I always thought about her, you know. I said,
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her, and I can't even remember her name anymore. So one day I'm at work, and this guy came in, and he was an Air Force Master Sergeant. He'd just come back from Angeles City, where he married his wife. And he said, "Hey, Mike," he said, "you're single, right?" I said, "I am now, yeah." He said, "Well, why don't you come over to our house tonight? We'll give you a home-cooked dinner. My wife's a great cook." I said, "Great, let's go." So I went, and I got there, and they had kids. I hate kids, but they were very well-behaved children.
Yeah.
And the wife came out, cute little Filipino girl, and she started showing me pictures of her girlfriends in an album. I said, "Oh, this is one, and this is one." And she came on and says, "This is Florence." I said, "Oh, God, she's really cute." I said, "I really like that gal." I said, "Would you like to meet her?" And I said, "Well, you know, she's there, and I'm here. You know." She said, "I'll have her write to you." I said,
Okay.
"Oh, you don't have to do that." "Oh, yeah." So next thing you know, a couple of weeks later, I get a letter from this gal with some pictures. And I start communicating with her. Got phone calls going. And after a few months, she invites me to come to the Philippines.
Now, when was this? What year? Do you remember?
I don't remember anymore. I was about 30 years old, I guess. And you got to remember, you're looking at somebody that looks normal, but I have Alzheimer's. I can't remember a thing.
I had no idea.
So, anyway, she wanted me to come visit her. I said, okay. So I went, applied for vacation. I said, I want 3 weeks. They said, "You're our #1 salesman. I can only give you 2. And I said, okay. So I took 2 weeks. I bought a ticket, got on a plane, and about 40,000 feet over Hawaii, I looked at myself. I said, "What in the hell are you doing? What kind of a fruitcake nutcase would fly 7,000 miles to meet some girl?" You
Yeah,
gotta be
yeah.
on your mind. Geez, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when I get off the plane, I'm gonna find the nearest ticket agent and get back on it and come home.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I got to Manila, and when you get off the plane, you go out to go to hotels, and there's a fence, and there's a lot of people standing by the fence with signs, waiting for people. And nobody was waiting for me, so I start to go, and this gal walks up to me. She says, "Are you mine?" Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I was toast after that.
That was it, right?
Ah,
That
yeah.
was the hook, and 40 years later, you're still in the Philippines.
Well, no, I haven't been married to her for 40 years. But anyway, we rode down to Angeles City. Her brother had a jeepney. We rode down to Angeles City, and after about a week, we decided we wanted to get married.
Yeah.
And so they had a municipal judge there, worked for the Air Force and the city.
Okay.
He was a Filipino. He married us. I said, okay, I'm gonna get my wife to go home. Oh, you can't do that. You gotta do paperwork. Immigration? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it. $500. I'll do the whole thing for you.
Yeah.
Great. I give her the money. Well, it's time for me to go home now, right? So my wife and her brother take me to the airport in Manila.
Hmm.
I go to get on the plane and they say, well, first off, when we got to Manila, I took all the money out of my wallet.
Yeah.
I gave her everything I had except for a handful of quarters. I had about $2 worth of quarters in case I
Yeah.
had to make a phone call, right?
Hmm.
So we get inside and found out I didn't reconfirm that ticket and I didn't have it anymore. I couldn't take that flight.
What?
In those days, you had to reconfirm it 3 days prior. What do I do? What do I do? Well, I said, they got another flight, Northwest flight, in 2 or 3 hours. You take that. So I waited, and somehow I got in line on that flight and started to get on the plane. They come around, they're checking for, oh, you didn't pay your terminal fee.
My goodness.
You can't go. I said, what do you mean I can't go? I got a ticket, everything. You can't go. That's pay that $10 terminal fee. I said, I haven't got $10.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Hmm.
I said, my wife's got all my money. She has no cell. They didn't have cell phones in those days.
Yep.
And what do I do? One of the ladies come over, supervisor came over, and she said, hey, look, have you got a credit card? I said, yeah, do you guys take credit cards? She said, no, we don't. But if you go to the duty-free shop
Hmm.
and buy me this bottle of whiskey, bring it over here and put it in my desk drawer, I'll pay your terminal fee. Done deal. So I went, I paid, and that was it.
That was it.
So I got on a plane, came back to the States, and waited for this guy, and he sent the paperwork. I signed it. We sent it in. It failed.
Why did it fail?
It was forged documents and all kinds of crap.
He didn't know what he was doing.
He
Basically.
had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I said, well, they got an immigration center in Helena, Montana. I'll go talk to immigration directly. So
Yeah.
I went down there. I got a hold of the supervisor. Supervisor helped me fill it out.
Okay.
And we filed it, and it promptly failed.
Failed again.
Failed again.
Hmm.
So the next time I did it, I went to Coots, which is a border crossing. There's an immigration there. And they helped me. And it failed.
It wasn't meant to be or
I'm a
something.
three-time loser here. So I said, well, you know what? I think maybe I better go on the honor system. I've learned a lot. Let's see what. So I worked on it myself, and it passed.
Wow.
From that point on, everybody in Montana that was looking for a fiance or a spouse came to see me to help them with their paperwork.
Okay.
After I married this gal, I started taking tours to the Philippines. Brought American men over here to meet their pen pals, and I would do all of their paperwork.
Okay.
And I've been doing immigration ever since.
Wow. So you found your little specialty and made some money, and now you're living life in the
It was a
Philippines.
niche thing, and up until about 1990, I was the only one that did it. Everybody
Wow.
else was, you know,
Okay, amazing. So I guess what happened to that marriage? Did it fail? Are you single now? What's the relationship status?
several. My marriage failed several times after that.
Hmm.
And I finally married my present wife. We've been married for 27 years, and the best thing that ever happened to me. You meet a good one,
Yeah.
you're really going to have something.
And she's a Filipina as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So have you ever married somebody that wasn't a Filipina?
I married Pondere Indian gal, or she was Kootenai tribe,
Okay.
and we were married for 15 days
Mhm.
and got divorced. And then I married a Mexican gal. We were the first marriage was a Mexican. We were married for
Okay.
15 years.
We want to know what makes like Filipino wives or women different or special. Like what's it about them that brings men to the Philippines so often?
Well, I think they're a little more caring and they're more family oriented, but you got to remember, it isn't always the girl.
Mm.
It's the guy. And all these divorces I've had, it wasn't the girl.
It was you.
Well, one of them, it was me.
Okay.
And I learned each time that, God, you don't do this, you don't do that. And it was never going out with other women. None of that kind of stuff. I was just hard to get along
I
with.
see. Okay.
And I mellowed out considerably. And my wife's a
Okay.
fantastic lady.
What do you think is the biggest mistake foreigners make coming to the Philippines? Something you could advise them on?
What's the biggest mistake they make?
Yeah.
Trying to pick up a girl down here at Bo's Coffee
It's right here, huh?
or on this, yeah.
Okay. So this is not the place.
When I brought tours over here, right? I bring 30 guys at a time. The last 3 months,
Okay.
30 guys. We bring them to the mall. And they'd meet girls in the mall. And we'd pass out our card that said, hey, we're having a social gathering for people to meet these foreigners when they come. And they would do that. And we'd have this party, and there'd be 200 gals come to this party,
Yeah.
and maybe 10 guys, because the other 20 or so had already met somebody.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think all the time we did that, I had about 3 or 4 guys that came over here who didn't get engaged or married.
Wow.
Can you
So
imagine that?
that's a very good number. That's a very good odds, I would say, for sure, for men to meet
Well,
women.
they meet. Let's see. You come to this party, and there's that girl right there, right? My staff is there. I'm there.
Yeah.
We screen that gal. We talk to that gal. We
Yeah.
find out where she's really from, what's really going on with her, and that makes it easier for you.
Okay, yeah. You do all the hard work essentially. The
Yeah.
background checks and
We
vetting.
did.
You
We don't
did.
do it anymore. It's illegal.
Oh, I had no illegal, I guess.
Oh, you go to jail for that.
I guess virtual pimping or something.
Yeah, they call it anti-mail order brides. But
Oh, I had
if
no
you
idea.
introduce somebody for purposes of marriage, 7 years in prison, permanent expulsion from the country, and a big fine.
Big no-no.
Yeah, big no. So
Okay.
don't do it.
So you've been here quite a while. What has been the biggest change aside from modernization? Do you think it's still easy to meet women here or more difficult than before?
Run that by me again.
Sure. Do you think it's easier now to meet women or before when you first came?
Hey, meeting women is just what people do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just, it's not easier. It's just, if you're
If you're good at what you do?
an okay dude,
Yeah.
you'll meet an okay girl, you know.
True.
But these guys come over here, and the first thing they do, because they see this young, good-looking girl
Yeah.
that will go to bed with some homely sucker that looks like space caught on fire, and they put it out with an axe. when that girl goes with this guy, it's for one thing only,
Yeah.
you know, security.
Security. No, I think most of men kind of are aware of that. They just don't like to admit it to themselves when they
Well,
first
you
come.
know, after seeing what I see here today, even, I don't think they're so aware of it.
I think maybe they're aware, they just don't care, or maybe like you said, they're not aware.
Or maybe it's just a young girl and a piece of tail.
I guess so. And it's a very powerful thing, though.
Yeah, it is. It is, really is.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, and all these people we do this immigration for, I've done well, at least 5,500 applications.
Wow.
And 99% of them are still married.
That's very good odds.
Yeah,
Good percentage.
but there's some bad ones.
Of course, like anywhere, right? You're gonna have good and bad. It's gonna come down to yourself. Now, I noticed you're in a wheelchair. Is that by choice to get around easier, or is that a medical thing? Or
My got a vertebrae in my back that did something, shut my legs off on the knees. I don't have much.
okay.
Can't walk very good. I can walk, but I can't stand up.
What about the healthcare? Is that an issue over here? Can you get to the hospitals?
I went back to States the first time in 25 years. It's October.
Oh, okay.
Now I get Medicare, right? Oh my goodness, isn't that great? I went in to see their doctors and I said, cancel my Medicare.
Yeah.
I get better care here for less money. I had a heart attack, right? I had 3 stents put in. 3.
Wow.
And an angioplasty. A week in the hospital, right? A whole week. In an executive room, fancy room, all of everything. The medical, the doctors, the medicine, every single bit of it cost me $15,000 US.
Wow. Incredible.
But of course, I get discount because a little bit, but so I think the medical here is better, unless I think the thing to work out for you, if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Do you eat chocolate? Do you drink coffee and tea?" Just get up and leave,
Yeah.
because he's a nutcase.
Really
They got
annoying.
all kinds of them like that,
Mm.
but they have some of the best doctors in the world here.
I see. Aside from your wife and the women that we talked about, what do you really like about the Philippines? And what keeps you staying here for so long?
I don't know everything. It's just kind of free.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the corruption's the same as it is everywhere, but you know, you can meet up with the politicians, you can meet up with the police, you get to know people.
Okay. You just have a,
You can't do that in the States.
you have a sense of freedom here, and okay.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
What is your biggest challenge here, living here?
The telephone and the internet.
Mhm.
I've been fighting that internet for so long. The telephone in my office upstairs in Ayala, right?
Okay.
Okay, we're on level 4. We've got Globe and PLDT.
Mhm.
Neither one of them works,
Okay.
except once in a great while they'll turn on the internet on one of them and it'll work. We have to use the wireless DITO, and then come in the morning. They got 3 SIM chips in that. They got a Globe, PLDT, and a DITO, right?
Okay, yeah.
Come in the morning, we sign in with Globe. An hour later, we have to sign in with PLDT. An hour after that, we have to sign in with DITO, and then we go back. And it all day long, up and down. Nothing works.
Horrible. A couple.
Phones are terrible. I mean, it's,
I hear you. I hear you. A couple last questions. Do you think you ever go back to the United States, or you think you're gonna live here?
never would I go back to the United States. I can't imagine anything like that. I'm 83 years old, for Christ's sake.
Oh, you look great.
And this is my home. You know, I wouldn't know how to get along with Americans. You know,
Yeah.
I don't socialize with expats. I mean, I'm talking to you, but I talk to those guys down there. But from here, when I leave here at night,
Yep.
I'm all Filipino. I'm in the Rotary Club, the Lions Club. We're all Filipinos, except me.
Okay.
I'm the only one that doesn't fluently speak the language.
Got it. Well, what you mentioned your business and helping people out. How can people find you, your services? I'd like to know a little bit more about that so I could put it in the video and people can call you or email you about it.
Oh, I'll give you a card.
Sure. I'll be sure to include your card in the video and people can check it out, okay?
Yeah, you can do that.
Awesome. So I'll be sure to put a picture of this on here so people can call you and request any kind of information they have. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of Mike's story and his experiences. And if you need any kind of immigration services help, go ahead and check out Ovis.com. Mike and his team do a really good job taking care of you. Anything you need from fiancé visa, spousal stuff, adjustment of status, all that good stuff. And they have 2 locations, one in Ayala Mall in Cebu City on the 4th floor and one in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll also put the toll-free phone number here as well, so you can go ahead and give them a call, see if their services are right for you. There are some things you just want to leave to the professionals, and he's really well connected and he's been through it so many times. He'll give you the best service he can to make sure that you get to the Philippines or bring your loved one from the Philippines to the US, guys. Oh, and be sure to use code ALEX to get 10% off your spousal visa, your fiancé visa, or adjustment of status. So go ahead and check that out if that's something you want to do. And that's it for this video. If you enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share the video. Let's do whatever we got to do to show that this video is informative and helpful to those that want to come to the Philippines. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.